What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel, and welcome back to competitive decks. That's right, we are going to learn how to use yet another new Pokemon from Sword and Shield, and today is going to be Indeedee. So if you are excited to learn about this new Pokemon and how to use it in competitive singles, make sure to leave a like on the video. Make sure to comment letting me know what you would like to see in next week's episode. We've got DLC coming up very soon, so we only have a few mons that we haven't covered yet, so make sure to leave a comment letting me know what you want to see next so that I get that in before the DLC drops. And of course, make sure to subscribe if you are new. So Indeedee is interesting, right? This mon was definitely built for doubles, as you can see from its moveset. So like, it's got some key things, right? It does have fake out, not that that's really useful with its ability, which we'll talk about in just a second, but it gets ally switch, which swaps you and your ally, not useful in singles. It's got follow me, at least the female one does, not helpful in singles. Let's see, helping hand, not helpful in singles. Heal pulse, not helpful in singles. A lot of things that are really great moves in doubles, but just not helpful at all in doubles. And so you can tell this mon was designed with that in mind, and there's nothing wrong with that, but we are going to talk about how we can possibly use it in doubles, or in singles rather. So let's see what we've got here. Now, first of all, you have to know that male and female Indeedee are different. They not only look different, which, you know, some Pokemon have different looks, but their stats are different, and they have slightly different move pools, and these are actually quite significant. So Indeedee female is seen a lot more in doubles for being a redirection Pokemon. So it does get the follow me while the male does not, and it is bulkier. So it is there to redirect so that the other mon on that team can do whatever it wants. Setup, it goes for Trick Room, is very common with Indeedee Hatterene, but it can also cover like a Snorlax Belly Drum or anything like that. But so, yeah, this one is a little more defensive. It has 95 special attack, which is kind of respectable. It's not too bad. And 85 speed, which again, isn't awful. It's not the best, but it's not awful. And male has a higher special attack. They actually just switch stats in offense and defense. And then, you know, this one is a little faster. The other one's a little bulkier, but you know, it is what it is. But so this is showing an offensive Indeedee female. Now, I do not think that offensive Indeedee female is nearly as good as offensive Indeedee male, but I'm just showing you the options here. Now, you could also run Scarf on this set as well. And what is really cool about this mon is it actually is a very nice check to Bisharp. Now, Bisharp is base 70 speed, so you actually don't even have to run max speed in order to outspeed it. And you actually can OHKO it with a Choice Specs Mystical Fire, which is why we have that on there. It's pretty cool, but you do need the specs in order to OHKO a Bisharp. The most you can do is about 90. So, you know, if you've got some hazards up and it's switched in a couple of times, or you've gotten a hit on it earlier in the match, then you can OHKO it that way. But this is faster. It stops priority because it has Psychic Surge, which is pretty cool. It's its only useful ability. You don't want Own Tempo or Synchronize. Yeah, this also is the only mon that can set Psychic Surge by switching in. So that's also something very important to know. Right now, there's only one Pokemon for each terrain. And actually, even Grassy Terrain doesn't even have a setter yet because Rillaboom's hidden ability isn't out yet. So this is an offensive set. We've got Trick to get rid of your specs or your Scarf, and then 3 offensive moves. And yeah, so next is going to be Sub Calm Mind. And so I think Sub Calm Mind is something that can really shine on the female set just because it is a little bit bulkier. So we are running a bold max defense Indeedee here to cover that base 65 defense, which is very low. And we've got Calm Mind to help cover on the special side. 95 special attack isn't awful, and so I really think that you don't need all that much investment in it, and you can just kind of boost up that special side. So obviously your goal with the rest of your team around this is going to be to weaken, like burn or lower the attack stat of, or whatever, the physical attackers on the team. And then this can kind of deal with the special attackers, which is pretty cool. So we do have sub Calm Mind. So you bring this in on something that can't really handle it, and you can substitute. You can start setting up Calm Minds until your opponent can't really do any damage to you. This thing does not get any kind of self-healing, which is unfortunate. So no recover, no moonlight, nothing like that. But Psychic and Hyper Voice hit pretty hard. You could also make an argument to run Psychic and Mystical Fire, but that's up to you. I do really like normal stab. It's really not that bad, and base 90, pretty good. I mean, as long as it's not resisted, it's a pretty good move to click. So yeah, it's there. The last set we're going to look at for Indeedee female is going to be Aromatherapy. Now, Aromatherapy and Healing Wish are going to be really nice cleric moves. So Aromatherapy is going to heal all status from your team, and not a ton of things really get Aromatherapy, and even fewer can actually somewhat use it. So we are going to run a max speed variant with max HP as well. So we've got a mix of bulk and speed. That is basically just to make sure that you get the Aromatherapy off before your opponent moves, assuming they are slower than you. And same thing with the Healing Wish. Now, Healing Wish is really awesome in this generation. So if you don't know, Healing Wish was massively buffed this generation, and it allows the Healing Wish to be stored. So what I mean by that is that if you use Healing Wish to sacrifice your Indeedee, and then go into something that is at full health, no status conditions, used to, Healing Wish would go ahead and activate and do nothing, which is useless. However, but the thing is that when you click Healing Wish, you had to go into the Pokemon that you needed to be healed, and so oftentimes that would put you having to switch again, right? So what you can do is you can actually set this up several turns in advance, click Healing Wish, go into a mon that scares out whatever you're in front of, right? It's at full health. The Healing Wish does not activate, but it is stored. And so then you go into what you needed to be Healing Wished, then Healing Wish activates. It's awesome. It's an amazing buff that I think Healing Wish should have had from the beginning, but it's cool that it has it now. So we are running the Psychic Mystical Fire on this set as well. Again, Hyper Voice can be swapped out for that. I like it a little bit more on the Cleric set, just for a little bit more diversity as far as having more super effective kind of stuff. But that's just me. You can swap it out however you want to. So that's enough of Indeedee female. Let's get to a more offensive variant in Indeedee male. So this one is a little bit stronger at 105 special attack, which is pretty cool. And so obviously you can run Specs or Scarf. We've already talked about this set on the female, so we're not going to really get into this one here. So now we get into Trick Room, though. This Indeedee gets Trick Room, female does not. And so we can run a Life Orb set with Trick Room, which is pretty cool. So this is basically the same set that you would run on a Hatterene, just instead of Hyper Voice, you would run Dazzling Gleam, which you could also run on Indeedee. Now, I do think that Hatterene is better than this in pretty much every way, because it is bulkier than this. But you know what? This mixes it up. A lot of times when people see Indeedee, they don't really know what to do in singles because they just expect it in doubles. But this thing can do some work, which is pretty neat. So yeah, we're running min speed on this, as min speed as we can. Sorry, let's change this to 0. So getting this as low as you possibly can. You could also run, I believe, what is it? Room service that lowers your speed in Trick Room, whatever that item is called. I don't know. You could also run that, which is pretty cool, and lower your speed even lower. That is something that I've run on Mimikyu before, which has a very similar speed to us at 96. So yeah, also an option. So lastly, we're going to look at Assault Vest Indeedee. Now, I think that this is a pretty interesting option to run. And as you can see, we've got a custom EV spread rather going on here. And this is enough to outspeed Bisharp. Again, Bisharp is a big problem that can do over 200% to you with knockoff. So obviously that's a problem. This is able to outspeed it. Now, we still, even at modest, cannot OHKO a Bisharp without specs. So you do have to have prior damage. Don't just bring this in on Bisharp at full and expect to OHKO it, because it's not going to happen. But this can outspeed it with only 148 investment, and then the rest you can dump into HP, which is pretty cool. And then you can basically rely on that special bulk in there, which I think is pretty awesome. So yeah, that is going to be all for our analysis of Indeedee and some cool movesets for you. So we didn't do a meme today, but I felt like it was appropriate to just talk about some sample sets for everything, just because this mon does have a little bit of versatility, just given the differences in each of the genders. So I wanted to go ahead and talk about that, and we'll be back to some memes next week. So if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like on the video and make sure to subscribe if you are new. And again, make sure to leave me a comment down below letting me know what you would like to see in next week's episode of Competitive Decks. I will see you guys on Wednesday for an awesome Wi-Fi battle, by the way. We've got Mr. Rhyme coming in hot, and it's going to be great. So I hope you guys are excited for that, and I will see you in that video. Until then, bye-bye.